Every time I turn around, everything's updating. Let's see. Share screen.
I've already got requests for the birds. So here they are, guys.
Okay, I should have both you and Mirfak on now.
Hi, Barry.
Hello.
Some trouble to play with the
Let's minimize that.
animals.
That. Game.
I joined the call because I guess Larry had me on hold.
That wasn't intentional. But I can hear you, so.
I'm right back.
Hi.
I just got an update for Skype, and so I couldn't see how to add him an obvious way. And then I just got a update for Pretzel Rocks, the music stream that I use, and the music is actually the rock music that I'm playing actually sounds like rock music. What a surprise. Okay, I think I have most things set up here, so I am going to go away for a moment and get some coffee.
I love what you guys did with the cones. Very nice.
For some reason, my chroma key isn't working this week, so you don't see my picture blending into the background. The picture that I have up as a stream background this week is some of the concept art from Edagura. This is what Gura 2 was supposed to look like if they'd ever fully implemented it, which they did not. At the end of the stream, where the waterfall is that overlooks the outside world, presumably there was going to be some sort of a bridge there that led to this area. And then if you look at the bottom of the picture, near where the figure is standing, you'll see a pathway that leads downward, and players were supposed to be able to actually go out there at one point. They called this part Gura 2. Unfortunately, it never came to be, like so many other ages they had planned. And just to confirm, my microphone's working. Did everyone hear me saying that?
Don't want to be visible. Crazy.
When the music comes off, I'll test my mic volume.
Okay, that's it for the music today. So we're just about ready to start getting things going. I believe you want to make sure that your chat audio is good, Susan?
Yes, Sherrod Bashemti. Is my microphone loud enough for everybody? Too loud, too soft, just right?
Are we playing the Three Bears?
Hello. Can everybody hear me? Great, thank you so much. I know you heard the birds. If you can hear the birds, you can probably hear me. That's true, Dark. And I do not have a microphone right next to the bird cage, believe it or not.
They're birds. Volume control is not in their contract.
Yeah, I bought the budgies without little knobs on their backs. I'm gonna make sure that Mirabot's in the right place.
I am in Teledahn. Where we are starting? We'll start.
Yeah, Mirabot's in the right place.
We want to
Well,
start out
he's in the
where
right
we
age.
left off last time, which is in the slave cave antechamber.
Yes. So. Where the better spawn point for that? Not sure.
We've got another 3 minutes.
Which is about time enough to start making announcements.
Okay, well, as we told you last month, we're going to be resuming this tour to finish off Teledahn. And then Larry has some special treats for us. He's already shown you a picture of concept art. He has some more very, very interesting things to show you on Twitch. We wouldn't have time to visit another age besides Teledahn today. So Larry's going to be filling time with other things.
To break in for just a moment, Darlene Watson's on, so hello, Darlene.
Everyone say hi to Rawa's mama.
Richard probably will not be online today because he's got church, and I think he told me yesterday that he wasn't anticipating being able to make it. Oh, not my new shop. For one thing, I haven't taken pictures of that yet, Creek Rider. What's happening is that my landlord sold the building my office is in, and the new owners want the whole thing for themselves. So I had a month essentially to find a brand new place and move into it, which was touch and go for a while because it seemed like everywhere I looked they wanted too much money, or else there was some reason why I couldn't move into it. But I got a new place, put a picture up on it on Facebook, but I have not taken pictures indoors yet because I had to call the landlord to figure out where all the light switches were. It is a building from around the turn of the century, and the lights for the front of the building are hidden in a side closet, strangely enough.
Alrighty, has everyone buddied Mirabot and Larry and me? Does anyone have any questions before we link?
Oh yeah. Has Larry actually brought up all his stuff that he needs to actually give a tour? No, he hasn't. I think we need to do something about that.
When you give the word, I will give the word.
I'm going to have to restart my computer, my notebook computer, because... Wait. Hey,
Rose
telephone.
calling you a slacker.
What can I say?
Well, we're gonna have to charge you a fee for these tours. Oh, looks like we have someone new. Is it IX? I is 9. Welcome to the tour. Any other new people to the tour this month?
Fortunately, the first half of the tour we're doing today, is on my Facebook and YouTube sites, so they can go back and see the parts they missed.
Are we ready to warp?
I'm having to restart my notebook computer, so give me a moment more.
Alrighty.
For some reason, the touchpad wasn't working. Okay, now are you going to cooperate this time? I wonder I do. Yes. I clicked and it actually did something. That's always good. Okay, to Teledahn, where is you, Teledahn?
Yes, Ro, we are going to be finishing up Teledahn because we were not able to finish it last month.
Here we go. Okay, everyone, you can start linking to Mirabot now.
Alright, if everyone could please PM the word link, LINK, to Mirabot, whose key number is 32319.
Oops. Once everyone is here in the age, send a private message to Murabot that says "Find Larry." FindLarry.
Alrighty, everyone's there. I'm coming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Murphak, one of the things that I'm going to want to do over here in the lagoon area is to set up that viewing platform at the top of the waterfall so that we can see the back end of the
Yes.
right. So let me know when you've got that set up, please.
I want to be sure everybody's here before.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Everyone's here.
Oh, they can. I didn't know Murphak was being shared over the stream. The last time we had him as part of the Skype chat, but his voice didn't come through because normally I have to set that up. I just got a new copy of Skype, though, when I started up the stream today, so it's doing things that I'm not expecting. I had mentioned in last week's tour that this age was written for a guild master from the Guild of Caterers. It was a birthday present for him. However, he didn't like it, and neither did most of the other people who might have owned it over the years. It was a very hard sell. The problem with the age is that you have to understand that the sun here is fake and was most likely added by the Denis. That means that if you try and imagine what this place is like without it, it would have been extremely dark and gloomy, which would explain why the guildmaster Mararon, who owned it, didn't care to spend much time here. When people wrote Garden Ages, they normally wrote them as being cheerful or soothing places that you could go to get away from the life in the cavern and experience something different. Being here would have been an awful lot like being underground without the artificial sun.
Excuse me, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please live stream Teledahn?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I forgot to put the game back up, didn't I? Let's see. Where's my mouse? Here we go. I messed up. Okay. Anyway. Now, one of the things that you can see to back up that statement I just made is if you all turn around and look off towards the waterfall at the end of this little canyon, wait for the sun to come back around and watch where the clouds are. It's the only quote-unquote sun I have ever seen that travels below the cloud layer. In any case, the Mararon, when he did visit here, was more interested in investigating the plant lives, and and he did, of course, discover that the spores from certain ones of these mushrooms that grow here are both edible and tasty, especially the ones from the giant mushrooms found in the lagoon outside this canyon. And therefore, he used them to flavor bread, and that became a very popular product. So, almost all of his visits to this age were cooking related. And of course, after he died, the Guild of Caterers attempted to industrialize the age, but that had disastrous consequences because the place just didn't have enough mushrooms for any sort of production on a regular basis. It was best left as a luxury item. Murphak, are we ready to go yet?
Okay.
Please take us up there as soon as you can. Oops. We are on a viewing platform atop the mountain above the waterfall. This is where the waterfall starts. If we wait for the sun to come back around, you'll get to see a sight that you may not have seen before, or that you haven't seen often. And that's what the backside of the sun looks like. This also gives you a good view of the neighborhood around here, and an angle that you don't often get to see, of course, when you're looking at it from down on the walkways. Setting it up so that we would be directly in the sun's path is actually rather difficult because it's literally only a fraction of an inch deep. I'll give everyone a moment to take pictures, and I'll open this up for any questions that we might have, that anyone might have up to this point, although we're only really just beginning. Jamie, there's nothing wrong with doing so, since it's a non-altered part of the game. Absolutely. You can take and you can post these on imagers in the game. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing so. Jamie, yeah, I'm aware that my that my chroma key isn't working properly. Say, I tried to fix it before the before streaming today, but none of the alterations I made seem to work. I'm beginning to wonder if I have it lit up a little too brightly. I actually took a great deal of care of finding clothing in the closet that I could duplicate in real life.
I don't think that's his character. I think he dresses like that all the time.
No, only on the weekends. Okay, that should be enough time for everyone to have gotten some photographs. So, Murphak, if you can, please take us back down. Okay. Now, one thing else that I'd like to talk about while we're over in this area are the animals of this age. We can see some of them right off of the balcony here down near the water. The animals that we see from here are called flappers. And let me see, where are my notes? Okay. Here we go. Much of the life here in this age is difficult to see but easily heard. If you listen, you can hear crickets, frogs, and other small creatures busily making enough noise to wake the dead. However, they conceal themselves carefully because there are aerial predators constantly on the prowl. The flappers are odd pancake-shaped creatures. Flappers eat spores floating in the air around the lagoon, and probably also small insects who are unfortunate enough to be passing overhead when one leaps. Normally, they float on the surface of the water, but periodically they leap high in the air by means of violent muscular contraction in order to catch floating spores. The flappers have a mouth that is centered on the tops of their bodies, and when they leap in the air, the mouth is automatically opened by the muscular contraction used to launch their bodies. When they reach the apex of their leap, the muscles relax, closing the mouth. That turns their bodies into an upside-down bowl, catching air like a parachute. This permits them to float down to the water at a slow enough speed to avoid injury and not sink when they reach it. Murphak, were you able to do anything with that request I had about the animals?
Only the flapper can be seen more closer. I can't show through me. I don't understand why.
Okay. But if you can put a flapper up here with us so that we can see it up close, that would be great. Anything about what about the buggeroo? Were you able to capture one of them? Aurelius asks if the flappers tend to synchronize their jumps. I wouldn't call it synchronizing. They have, but basically they do so at regular intervals. They will jump, float down, rest for a moment, and then jump again. Flappers with an A.
Doesn't work. Ah, why?
If it doesn't work, I do have still photographs that I can show.
You all may remember that last month we saw some flappers in the tank up in Sharper's bedroom/office.
Okay, while Murphak is working on that, I'm going to go over to the stream and
It's crazy. What's the matter?
if you look at the stream window, I have a picture up of a flapper resting on the water. I am going to change that picture, and from an overhead view, here's a flapper which is just beginning to jump, and its mouth is starting to open.
So is a flapper an invertebrate?
That is a question I can't answer. Judging from the way they move their bodies, I would assume that they are either invertebrates or they use cartilage instead because the bodies are too flexible for bone.
No way.
Okay.
Very sorry.
That's okay.
It was working
That's the way it
before
usually
the show,
goes.
for the tour, and now not.
Okay. The next picture shows one about midway up its jump with the mouth open wide and the body streamlined for airflow. In the next picture, we see the mouth opening even wider, and notice how the body is starting to segment to make to catch as many spores as possible, which is not something that's really noticeable if you're just watching.
I know you might answer this later, but are the flappers food for shroomy?
Yes, they are, among other things. And then, let's see, this one is at the top of the jump, and the bodies come back together for it to be, so that it can begin opening up and starting its descent. Here, it's beginning to descend, and it's closed up the mouth and is in the shape of a bowl. And one final picture. You'll notice that there's an indent in the middle. So now it's sort of like a donut that's been cut in half, and that allows it greater control of how it falls. Here we go. Let's see what's going on. Oh. Okay. We wound up on a platform, huh? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the image. Murphac has moved us to a platform out over the out in the canyon here. I presume that he brought us out here so that we can see the flappers a little closer. So if you look downward, you'll be able to watch the one that's below us leaping up into the air. If people will move away from the jump-in point, or the link-in point, so that you form a circle around it, everyone will be able to see better. Where we are now, it's coming up to just below our feet. Okay. The next animal I'm going to talk about is the buggaro. We'll be able to see those a little better later on when you're allowed to wander around the age freeform. Buggaro are the flying predators that seem to keep the smaller animals in hiding. They were given the name by Sharper. Sharper, who was the restoration engineer in charge of Teledahn, had been reporting on the animals to the DRC, and they requested that he provide names for them. Sharper didn't know Denis, and there were no known Denis names. So he took one word from Denis that he did know, which was Garo, and tagged that onto the word bug, which was of course English. Garo means great or large. So in essence, buggaro just means big bug. And he was quite surprised that the DRC actually officially adopted that as the name for the animals. Buggaro have 4 wings and a tail, as well as 6 short legs below the main body. However, the main body does not seem to have separate segments like earth insects do. The wings and tail have metallic gold markings, which makes them rather attractive. Sharper mentioned about naming the animal in his journal. On the 18th of July 2003, he wrote, "On a more typical note, Watson came by a few days ago asking me to name the wildlife here. They aren't finding the names that Denis used for a lot of animals. I don't think he really appreciated shroomy and flappers. Anyway, I named the birds here buggaros because I think some part of that is Denis for big. That's what Nick said, at least. Big bug. Wonder how they'll like that." And let's go ahead and switch back to the stream for a moment. And let me bring my images back up. So here we have a sideways view of a buggaro. And actually I miscounted. Apparently it has 2 wings, and the other thing that you see there is a rudder that it uses to guide its path through the air. There are 6 main legs, and then just below the head there are 3 protrusions and I have no idea what it uses those for. This is a picture of a buggaro as seen from a slight angle as it's headed towards you.
I think one of the areas that we can see it is the area that we initially linked into. Is that right?
There
They
are
fly in big circles around the age?
there's at least 1 or possibly 2 in the lagoon, and then there's another one that flies around the harbor where we'll be going next. This view, of course, is directly from the front. And unlike an insect's wings, these ones actually do flap. You'll notice that they bend. And here is another side view. Now, moving on to talk about Shroomy for a moment. Let's see if I have a photograph of her. Whoops. Browse. Okay, we'll just call her, see if we can call her up once we get to the lake. I don't seem to have set aside any photographs of her. Okay. Yeah. Sharper always referred to Shroomy as a female, Ro. Anyway, Shroomy and her kind are giant arthropods that somewhat resemble an oversized lobster. They live all over the seas of Teledahn. The arthropods have heavily armored bodies with defensive spikes. One of them, of course, seems to have a territory here around the islands, and its diet is made up of its two favorite snacks, flappers and giant mushrooms. Douglas Sharper spotted one on March 3rd of 1998, and of course coined the name Shroomy. The arthropods were a problem for the Guild of Caterers when they were trying to industrialize this age. They liked to eat the mushrooms that the guild was harvesting spores from. That caused the guild to install a gate to block off the entrance of the channel into the lagoon that the animals were using to get to the mushrooms. When Douglas Sharper was a big game hunter on Earth, and actually excuse me just a second here. Okay, I thought something was wrong with my because I don't hear anyone over Skype at the moment. Anyway, Douglas Sharper wound up killing one of the arthropods that lived in this area so that he could find out what made it tick. That one was replaced by a second one, which he also called Shroomy. Murphak, anytime you like now, please take us back over to the dock.
He had to step away for a moment.
Oh, okay. Is that what happened? Things got awful quiet on Skype, so I thought maybe the program had crashed. Yeah. Anyway, does anyone have any questions? Oh, excuse me. I'm not quite done. The map in the harbor office shows that there are at least 3 other major animals in the age. 2 of the 3 are huge predatory sea creatures that both look like they would be very good reasons for Shroomy species to have heavy armor plating and spikes. One has tentacles, some of which have branches along their length. The creature is truly enormous, judging by the size of the Shroomy-type animals drawn nearby. And let's see if I have a picture of that.
And Mirfak is back.
Okay. Let's see.
He says we can try taking a bugaroo ride.
That would be a little bit later. At the moment, I just want to go back to the dock.
Okay.
No, that's the wrong one. I'm looking at the moment to see if I have pictured. I should have made screen caps of the two animals that were shown on those chart. But then again, maybe I wasn't quite that bright. However, what I can do okay, so if you look at the here we go. If you look at the stream, I have a copy of the map up, and I'm centered on the animal I'm talking about at the moment. And if you look above it and off to its left, you'll see the shroomy arthropods drawn on the map as well. And if those are in scale, then that tentacle animal is absolutely huge. I tried estimating its size, and if their bodies are indeed drawn to scale, then the body of that animal, its body is as wide and tall as Shroomy is long, and its tentacles reach out twice the length of Shroomy's body from Shroomy from its body. And of course you can see the large mouth with spiked teeth lining it, which undoubtedly was something that was the last thing many a Shroomy ever saw in their alive. The next type of animal is a giant fish, which is over here, alongside two Shroomies. And it's about twice the size. It has a large beak-like mouth with what appear to be serrations or teeth spaced along the edges. And the last animal that's shown on this map is over here. Although it may be a little hard to see. But we have a number of what appear to be nests on towers or projections from the sea. Whether or not they were built by the animals, we don't know. But they're giant two-winged insects that seem to have constructed those towering cylindrical nests, which of course have a faint resemblance to termite mounds. These animals are either very rare, tend to stay away from the islands where the Denis operated, since no explorer has ever seen one. Okay, and by the way, I showed this map last month, but the circle that I have drawn on it in bright green is the approximate path of the sun disk. So you can see how it fits into the landscape. Or I think that's the that may be the wrong image, because that doesn't look quite wide enough. Anyway. Okay, let's proceed down the walkway, and we're going to go to the plateau at the end of the stairs. Do we have any questions about the animals now? Yes, there was, Malum. There was going to be an area called Teledahn 2. But of course, there are no details at all about, and no production art that, or no concept art to show it. So what it would have encompassed is a mystery. The only thing that, the best guess that I have about it is that it would have been perhaps the headquarters area for the spore collection efforts. Presumably a boat would have come out here, tied up to the catwalk, and we would have ridden that to wherever it was that it went. But that, again, of course, is pure speculation on my part, so it's, don't quote it. My own guess is that this plateau is where the original linking book or descriptive book of Teledahn would have linked to. And then the age that the Guild of Caterers lord that it was written for, Mararon, would have walked down on those wooden docks or wooden walkways, and that would have been the age that was written for him. The metal catwalks and other features in the age were created by the Guild of Caterers after Mararon's death. Now, there's one more giant mushroom to be seen here, and that is over here, which is the office building that we go into. I don't know how many of you may have noticed that this is actually a mushroom. The mushroom cap fell off at some point, so if you look upwards, you'll see that it was replaced with an awning over a metal framework. And the stones that hang down on ropes from it were there to anchor the awning in place. And just like the main mushroom in the lagoon where the spore harvesting operation took place, it was hollowed out into a couple of rooms for the use of the Denis. The lower area seems to have been a storage facility, just as it is today, while there was an office up on the second floor. If we walk inside, Douglas Sharper was the one who hung the charts that you see in here, one of which is a picture of Shroomy, and one of which seems to be some sort of calendar. The thing about it is that the calendar is completely illegible, so we have absolutely no idea who wrote it. However, it does not look like Denis writing. So it's possible that it was something that Sharper drew, and he just had extremely terrible handwriting, but we can't say for certain. Some of the same papers, by the way, were placed in the Baron City office, the secret location where Sharper kept things that he didn't want the DRC to see. You will also see one chart sitting on this crate in front of where I'm standing. Let's see if I can get an image of that up. I think I've got them. Okay. So this is, on the stream, I have a photograph of one of the charts, and you can see just how bad the writing is. Off on the left edge of it, it has a kind of overhead view of one of the shroomy animals. And then it has drawings and a symbol that make no sense. The only thing I can think of is that one of the drawings looks like an overhead view of one of the wooden catwalks that go out into the canyon. But other than that, say, no clue. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Ah, yes. Another one of the charts is this one here, which appears to be a sketch of some of the machinery found around the age and how perhaps how it worked. Oops. And I do not have a copy of the chart that's on the table, or on the crate. Okay, so let's go ahead and cancel that, cancel, and we'll drop that. I'm going to have to look around to see if I can find that at some point. Anyway, let's see, is the door open? Yes, it is. Okay, going upstairs. This office was used in part by Douglas Sharper when he was out working in this area. But this was actually the office that was last used by Mnemosyne, who was one of the, or who was the man behind the slave trade that took place here. And this is where on the wall you have an overall map of the age that was left here by the Guild of Caterers, showing that the areas that they worked in. And I'm going to go ahead and bring an image of that up on the stream. So, browse. Oh, this is the one that I was going to show you earlier. Okay. And bring that up. Okay. I'm sorry. This one with the the yellow circle is the path of the sun. Now you'll notice on the map that there are several areas that are highlighted in green, and one that is highlighted in red. The green presumably are areas where they collected spores and then shipped them to the red area. So, as a guess, I would think that Teledahn 2 would have been the red area on the map. But again, that's pure guesswork on my part. In any case, getting back to Menesmo for a moment, Menesmo, when he was showing off the people that he was selling to the hunters of Rebek, would bring them from the slave or the cave over to this office, where he would hang them with chains, and specifically with manacles that hang down from the ceiling. If you look over near the door, right in front of me, you'll see chains hanging down from the ceiling where the manacles of the slaves were attached so that they could be displayed to potential buyers.
Do you mind showing those on Twitch, please, Larry?
Well, I've got the... Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I forgot to knock my image back down. If you look at the live stream, I have my camera pointed at them, or my point of view. They are right here. When last week, when we were looking at the graffiti in the water pipe leading to the slave caves, you'll remember that one of the drawings showed a figure that was suspended by manacles from overhead chains, and this is what that was depicting. And yes, there are more chains lying around the office. Menesmo, of course, was never caught, although the Guild of Maintainers were on his trail. But the fall of Denis, of course, kept him from being punished for the crime, even though undoubtedly he died along with everyone else. Jamie, Briggs, if you refresh your browser, hopefully that should fix it. Jamie, okay. Let me see. Well, it should be broadcasting. Okay. Oh well, in any case, getting back to... Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That's not important, though. Let's see if I go over though. If I go over here and yeah, that's not important, so I'll just leave it as is. Anyway, the fall of Denis was caused by a couple of men. The mastermind behind it all was a man named Agaeris, and Agaeris was a madman who basically didn't like the way Denis society was going. And when Anna came to the cave and was not immediately put into a prison age or executed, he decided that society was irredeemable and that it would be better to destroy it and start over again with him as the leader and god of it all. So he formed a plot and roped in a young nobleman named Vovis in order to be his assistant. And they had a number of collaborators, including a few members of the Guild of Maintainers. In the end, what they wound up doing was releasing a combination of poison gas and a biological weapon into the cavern's air system. And once the cavern was infected with it, they wore environmental suits in order to avoid being infected themselves. And they went through and began throwing infected bodies through linking into linking books to other ages, or dragging them, I should say, along with them as they linked to other ages, to infect every age that they could find, which would have been thousands, but there was plenty of bodies. They missed a few, so there were survivors of this, but the vast majority of the Denis Empire was completely all life was wiped out by the infection, and that was the end of the Denis Empire. Atris later found many survivors of Denis, and they made an attempt to try to revive the Denis city. But the damage was so extensive and the memories were so painful for the survivors that eventually Atris gave up and decided to write a Relishon as a home where the Denis could start over again without any of the baggage of the past. We'll be talking about the fall of Denis when we cover Kavir in a later tour. Okay, and as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and turn off the webcam since it's not working anymore. May as no. Okay. Anyway, do we have any questions about anything up to this point?
Do we know what sorts of chemicals and things are on one of these tables in here?
No, we don't. And I do not know off the top of my head who might have left them. This office would have been used by the Denis Guild of Caterers, and possibly even by Mararon, the guildmaster for whom the age was written. So it's possible that these were things left over from when Mararon was here, and he was investigating things, whether or not anything in the age was worth making into a food product. Briggs, the main reasons why we know the sun is fake, and I'm going to step out of character on this one, is first off, if you watch it, it never rises above cloud level. Secondly, and this is out of character, it's not made the way suns are in any other age. In all other ages, the sun is a painting on a dome that surrounds the age. This is the only place where the sun is actually a physical model that rotates around a given point. The second thing, of course, is that we saw, of course, that we could get up behind it by climbing one of the mountains. Briggs, I would say both. It is meant to be fake, but it's here for game reasons. In other words, presumably the Denis needed something to provide light and energy, and so created that object in order to provide them. And and of course, the fact that it also provides electrical power that they needed for various machines here would have been another reasons for making it. We know that it, because it was added, according to the rules of Denis writing, they would not have tried to write that into the age. Your guess is as good as mine, Clady.
Well, if the fake
Excuse me.
sun powers the sunscope, then what powers the sun?
That's a question that I don't have an answer to. Let's say the only thing I can think of is that it's some sort of generator, but Lord only knows what and how. Maybe. Roa said that it might be plasma, but that one's a complete mystery. Okay, let's see, and let's let's go ahead and go back downstairs. And we're going to go back out onto the plateau area for one last look, because there's an object out here I want you all to see. So if you want to get down here in a hurry, just say, tell Mirabot to find Larry. And what I'm looking at now is the machine that's just offshore at the end of the catwalk. I always thought it looked an awful lot like a gigantic hairdryer. although other people have said that it looks like different things than that. But this is actually the end point of the harvesting operation that was here in the lagoon. If you look, you will see that there is a pipe running underneath the catwalk and over to the device. And that is where to give you a quick summary, when Guild Captain Ventus was ordered to industrialize the age, he set up a process to make gathering the spores more efficient, and was a little too successful. His team over-harvested the supply of spores and ran out of them, causing the business to collapse. It was a case of poor resource management. If the caterers had kept the bread as a luxury item in limited supply, the business might have been sustainable. But Ventus didn't think that far ahead and tried to run it like the guild's other food production ages. Still, the plan he drew up for harvesting was well thought out. First, a circular work platform was built around the stem of a mushroom just below its cap. A drive shaft was run out to the mushroom to power a hoist that was built into the work platform. Workers would hand harvest the spores from the bottom of the mushroom cap and fill a large bucket with them. The hoist mechanism was powered mechanically. The drive shaft turned a gear that turned a ring built into the circumference of the work platform. The ring turned a gear attached to a drum that wound and unwound the cable attached to the bucket. Once the hoist bucket was full, it was lowered to other workers who would dump the spores into large transfer buckets. Those were carried along a cable system and emptied into the tower control room. The spores landed on a grating with a fan below it, and the fan would spin up to draw the spores and blow them into a series of pipes that led down to the hut room's ceiling. The spores fell into the hut room and drifted down to the water below the hut. When there were enough spores in the water, it was pumped to the bay here through a long underground pipe that terminated at this machine, which is a separator. When the spore-saturated water reached the separator, the spores were filtered out and dropped into a cargo boat that would be tied to the dock. When the cargo hold of the boat was full, it would travel to a central processing area. The spores were offloaded there. The next step is unknown since we've never seen anything beyond this island. However, two possible steps might be that the spores were packaged and sent to Denis for further handling, or it may have been that there was a bakery similar to the one we see in Urkana, where the bread was made on site before being transported to Denis. And that pretty much ends the story of how of what happened to spores here in Teledahn. They came all the way from the lagoon over to this machine where they were loaded on boats. Let's go ahead and walk out to the catwalk out to the separator. Thanks for coming, Zeke, and I'll see you later.
Yeah, by the way, Zeke was our original host for the Cavern Tours.
More than that, Zeke was the one who came up with the idea and put it into effect. So he's the person most responsible for the tour's creation. I myself had done a series of write-ups on it on various things I noticed in ages. And also, I had even done a couple of marker tours with some of my earlier findings, which I won't show anymore because nowadays they're highly inaccurate, and I know it. But Zeke came up with an idea of actually doing live tours, and as his first guide, got an explorer named Teledahn to help him out. They did one season with the two of them and a gray hat named Stone. But these were held late at night because of Teledahn and Stone's working graveyard shifts. So, for the second tour season, Zeke had seen some of my articles and work in other locations, and decided to ask me if I'd come along. And that season, I did color commentary, simply adding a few things that Teledahn wasn't pointing out. I think we did that for 2 years before it was decided that we needed a Europe-friendly version of the tours. And since Teledahn couldn't do it, I had to go alone on that. And so we searched around for a gray hat who could work European hours. And it took a bit of searching, but Murphak eventually volunteered for the job, and here we are today. Okay, so here in the bay below the harbor office, the Denis built this metal catwalk ending in a boat dock. Next to the dock is the separator, of course, with the pipe leading out to it. And the spores were dumped into the boat by the short length of pipe that you can see on this side of the separator. We don't know what the boats look like since none were left behind in this harvesting area. I can only guess that they might all be docked at the central processing area the red marking on the map might represent. It was Douglas Sharper who installed this air cannon on the dock. This is what he wrote about it in his journal. June 1st, 2001. Back to work here. I'm installing a gun of some kind down on the docks. It's a Denis mining instrument, I believe. Regardless, the DRC of all people want it set up. Strange. June 30th, 2001. Gun is up. Not working, but up. Laxman will have to get it working, or at least give it a shot. Not familiar enough with this kind of Denis technology. November 3rd, 2001. Victor can't get the gun to the gun for a long time. In fact, DRC wants the whole thing taken out now. Fine by me. June 25th, 2003. Finally got the gun up and working. Laxman is getting better every day. The guy is a genius. Watson stopped by as well to see it working, although he seemed more concerned with me cleaning up the scrap than the gun itself. Typical DRC. That was all that was written about it. There's no reason given as to why the DRC wanted it installed, or what purpose they may have intended for it to serve. Yisha, of course, was quite happy to put it to use in her own plans. And now that we are down here at the dock, Murphak, if you could please, can you summon Shroomy so that we can see her?
So I assume that Sharper did not use the gun to kill Shroomy, right?
No, he used one of his big game hunting rifles to kill the original Shroomy. They're edible, Briggs. I don't hear Murphac. Is he on?
I think so.
Okay, I just heard him. I was just wondering if you can summon Shroomy the normal way. If Aurelius, if you look at the map in the office, my best guess is that they were taken to the area on the map which is highlighted in red. True. That would be better than the other end. Well, there's the Buggeroo going by.
Step away from the air gun. Step away from the air gun. Did you all see the Buggeroo fly by? Is Shroomy's appearance, is that client side, speaking out of character, or is it game side?
That would be better answered by Murphac, because I'm not up on the mechanics.
I don't exactly, but there is something. It kind of appears from time to time. Something like a time. I don't know how to say that. Sorry.
What Susan was asking is Shroomy client or is it on something that's online or on the server? I presume that it would be client side, but I'm not a programmer of any sort.
I've heard that it's client side.
It's almost partly client side, I think.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Shroomy isn't isn't being very cooperative today. Clady, you're going. We can't let you swim here, but we can do something else, which is how we're going to end today's tour. As a matter of fact, since this is proving to be a pain in the backside for Murphac right now, let's go ahead and go back up the walkway to the cave and then along to the other end of it, which will be back in the lagoon. Because there's one last thing to see before we call it a day, and then we'll go do something a little special. Oh, of course, we always want to point out where the maintainer's marker is in any given age, that where we know where they are. And this one's easy. Say, the maintainer's marker, of course, is right here in the middle of the floor in this passageway. And these markers, of course, indicate that the Guild of Maintainers has inspected the age and approved it for use. And they also serve as the 0 mark for the Denis coordinate system in ages outside the Denis Cavern. Glowing, this one is actually malfunctioning. Normally, the glow should be steady. In some ages, they've burned out entirely. In this one, it's beginning to burn out. Anyway, and then continuing along the walkway. We come out at the far end of the lagoon, where we have this device. And is the... oh, the shaft isn't turned on. In any case, while we see if somebody's... looks like somebody's going over to turn on the power... But this is the gate that was installed by Guild Captain Ventus in order to keep Shroomy and her kin from eating their profits. I'm waiting to see if the drive shaft gets turned on. Although I'm pretty sure you all know what it looks like. Okay, here we go. Okay, that was strange. Let's try that again. Here we go. So yes, this was the gate that was installed to keep the arthropods out of the lagoon, where they were eating up the giant mushrooms that the Denis were trying to harvest. And we'll leave that up. And that this will officially end today's tour. It's a half hour early, but that's because we're going to do a couple of special things for you. First off, Murphac, please give us an on-lake effect and transfer us out onto the lake so that people can run around and take pictures wherever they want to. And also, at some point, Murphac wants to give us buggeroo back rides. So, at random intervals, if you find yourself flying through the air, that's why. And thank you all for coming to today's tour.
Yeah, let's all give Larry and Murphac a huge round of applause.
Okay. What are the announcements for today?
All right, let me bring up my events that I get from the Guild of Messengers.
I've got them. 1400 key time is story night on the European schedule in Sano's Hood, being run by Arterton, the man who was the other Cavern Tour lecturer. And this is a very long-running and popular segment that he does. It's done over game voice chat. At 1600 key time is karaoke night in the New Messengers pub. And there will be a notification there about where to tune in to hear the music. And then story night will be repeated at 2330 key time, again in Sano's Hood.
I also want to let everyone know that on December 19th, 1 week from today at 1300 key time, Minnesunda will put on another Nulp Dance Christmas show in Cavern.
And now with this being the end of the tour, you are free to run around the age wherever you please and take photographs and do whatever you care to. You'll be able to get some really unusual angles on things, including standing in the path where the buggeroo fly so that you can get some pictures of them. Canonically, no, there never were, Ro. The only place that they had scuba diving, according to the storyline, was the Denis Harbor, or Agora Harbor, to investigate the boats. I'm being asked if or I was asked at one point whether or not we can see Shroomy on the stream, and I've been looking for her, but I've never quite managed to catch her.
Here she is over here. Do a fine CT, Larry, if you want to catch her.
You say and then you run off on me.
Yeah, I was running closer to her. There she is. She's got her little arms above the water. Isn't that cool?
I don't know what's going on. I'm not seeing it. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe...
It is client side.
I'm bugged out, and she's just not appearing in my game.
Yeah, she's right in front of me.
Let's see, if I look down... Yeah, I see nothing. I'll follow, and we'll see what we see here.
Yeah, she's practically under my feet from my client.
Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing a thing, so that's got to be my browser. Or I should say my game.
I think it's client side. On my client, she's under my feet, but not under your client.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill my game and rejoin to see if I can fix that. So... because I had been watching for her all that time and never saw her once.
I sent you a key photo, but I don't know if you can post that on your web stream or not.
Not without a great processing it, because it'll be in my game folder, but it'll be too dark to view until I color enhance it.
Oh, she's surfacing again.
So let's see, Marabont, link. Okay. So, anyone seeing her at the moment?
Yeah, she just surfaced underneath you. I'm going to send you a picture.
Hee hee.
I see it with mirror, but not with the mirror back.
This is truly bizarre. I'll come to think of it, if I open up the key photos in it'll show up in the stream because I'm looking there we go. I have no idea why I'm not seeing that.
There she is. And you didn't even see her.
Yeah. Not a glimpse. You can see that in the stream. If she'd have been a rug, I'd have tripped on her. So yeah, she's been all over the place, and you've gotten good pictures of her, and I haven't seen one sign. Oh well. Whenever we get this many people into the game at the same time, and especially when we're doing tricks with the bots commands, it can get really bizarre. Okay, why don't we do one of the bug row rides, Murphac?
Okay. Oh. Where's the piccolo? I don't see it.
This is hilarious.
But we are flying.
Third person view is funny.
Mm-hmm. I gotta switch over to first person here.
Well, I wasn't able to switch back to first person from third. It looks like they have the buggeroo going underneath the water.
Yeah.
I don't think this is actually following the normal path, because they do more or less a circular pattern that they keep repeating.
Yeah.
So it's not quite like the borrow rides that we give in the when we're on the Agra map.
Well, it looks like there's about 3 or 4 sets of us moving. And so, like I see, there's a group of about 7 of us. And then there's about 5 other separate people.
Let me try the other buggeroo. Maybe it will be better. Or even the other one. What do we see? Nothing? Just nothing, and that's crazy. But where are they? Very strange.
Yeah, we're underwater.
Actually, I'm above the canyon with a number of other people. And this one's giving us some good aerial views.
Yeah, in first person view, I can see a bunch of other people.
Hmm.
Oh no, I'm in third person view actually.
Well, it's not like very different that I thought.
Hey.
Well,
That was a good ride, though. So it.
Well, that was hilarious. The humor fact.
Let's see. It looks like. Did someone send me a key photo there?
let me try a right barrel to see what it is.
I wonder if we could ride Shroomy.
She has several different animations, and all of them have very short durations.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that wouldn't work out all that well.
Oh, okay.
We wound up outside the game model.
Okay, now I'm in first person. I'm right behind Larry.
Actually, I switched over to third person because the first person wasn't given a very good view. Oh, you imported some Bodro, huh? He,
Oh yeah, this is the borrow. I think this is a borrow ride.
yes, it is. He imported Bodro, the Bodro that fly around the Kurith Sarch.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's why we're outside the model because their relative position is farther out than the borders of this would normally go. Mary Sue is asking, are those budgies in the background?
Yes, they are. 11 of them. Yeah, they're the reason I have to keep, one of the reasons I have to keep my microphone muted for most of the tour. Oh, I should remind everyone that each tour is the second Saturday of each month. And so next month and also next year, the tour will be on Saturday, January 9th at 11 a.m. Key time.
Yeah.
Rose sitting down.
And all of a sudden, the sea becomes a desert. Oh, Boney, the Wark is here at the entrance into the lagoon, which means that the cliff is going to be around this side somewhere. Yeah. Zandy's trailer is half buried inside of a rock outcrop.
So now poor Shroomi's buried under sand. She's hibernating.
I'm trying to figure out what that dome is from. It's the inside of something. I wonder if that's... Yeah, that's probably the interior of the dome where they have the sculpture of the great tree in the Watcher's pub. At least that's what it's kind of looking like to me. Let's see. No, I take that back. This... Relto has a double moon, and I'm only seeing one at the moment. Also, Relto's a lot larger than this, because this is only a short distance across. Yeah, the Wark is over near the gate into the lagoon.
Rorfak, what ages have you combined? Teledahn, the Cleft, Jalak?
Agra, he's brought in that for the Barrow. Okay. I actually stumbled into the slave caves. And the cleft desert is actually below the floor there. So I've got a mouse eye view of the place.
Goodbye, everyone. See you all soon. Thanks again, Larry and Murphat. Great job.
Okay.
Hey, bye everyone.
And at this point, it's a little bit after 2 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you all again for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed yourselves.